Today's lesson is angles of elevation and depression. I'm going to go ahead and define what's angle elevation. The angle formed by the horizontal line and the line of sight to an object above the horizontal line. So if you look at the diagram down there, and if you were taking the view of the person that is looking at the bird, that you know that is an angle of elevation because they're looking up at the bird. Okay. If you take the perspective of the bird, it's looking down. That's considered the angle of depression. So it's an angle formed by the horizontal line and the line of sight to an object below the horizontal. So if you're looking down, it's going to be angle of depression. If you're looking up, it's going to be angle of elevation. So that's how you notice the difference. How can you tell if it is an angle of elevation or depression? That's going to be the question. Place your finger on the vertex. Trace along the non-horizontal line, which is this one here, side of the angle. See if your finger is above. So is it above? Yes. So it's going to be elevation. If it's below, then it's angle of depression. So if I look at number 1, I take the path of the non-linear or the non-horizontal line, and it goes down. So that angle 1 is angle of depression. If we look at angle 4, and you notice that this line right here is above 4, and it's also above the horizontal. So this is angle of elevation. In contrast to angle 1, you see how this angle is below the horizontal, so there's a depression. So angle 1 is angle of depression, and angle 4 is angle of elevation. Using angle of elevation, you notice at 35.5, and here is the line that is non-horizontal. It's above the angle, so there's angle of elevation. Suppose the building is located 400 feet from the windmill turbine. A worker is standing at a window at the second floor of the building. The angle of elevation to the hub of the turbine is 35.5. The worker's eye level is 15 above the ground. Approximately how tall is the turbine from the ground into the hub? So we're actually looking for this. That's X. Now you look at your angle. This is opposite and this is adjacent. And if I remember my mnemonic statement, so ka toa, then you know it's going to use opposite and adjacent. So it's going to be tangent of 35.5 equals opposite. In this case, it's X. That's going to be the height of the turbine. And then you have 400 feet. Remember that if we're going to solve for X, we have to multiply the tangent of 35.5 times 400. But before we do that, we need to ensure that we're working in degrees. So you see how it says radian, we want it in degrees. And now we can go ahead and go to calculate. So we go to trig, we go to tangent, 35.5. And then of course we multiply by 400. And you get 285.317, so approximately 285 feet. Now, 285, which is the height of the worker's eye level. To find the total height, you have to add 285 plus 15, which gives you 300 feet. So the turbine is 300 feet tall. Using angle of depression, so you see here, we have the one that is non-horizontal and it's below the angle, so that's 3. To approach the runway 17 of Ponca City Municipal Airport in Oklahoma, the pilot must begin a 3-degree descent starting from a height of 2714 above sea level. The airport is 1,007 feet above sea level. To the nearest tenth of a mile, how much far from the runway is the airplane at the start of the approach? So the airport is 2,700. I mean, the airplane is 2,714 above sea level. The airport is 1,007 feet. So the difference is that's going to be the difference of the airport and the plane. So we have the information we have is opposite, and we're looking for the hypotenuse. So we're going to use sine. Remember that these two angles are congruent because alternate interior angles are congruent. So this is going to be sine of 3 equals opposite, which is 1,707 feet, divided by, in this case, divided by x. So what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to do some algebra. So we have opposite of hypotenuse, so it's going to be x times the sine of 3 equals 1,707 feet. And then the next step is to divide by sine of 3. So we had to do some extra steps. So let's go ahead and type this into the calculator. 1,707 feet divided by trig sine of 3. And what do we get as an answer? We get 32,616. Now remember, there's 5,280 feet in a mile. So we have to divide by 5,280 feet. And that's roughly 6.17 miles. Divide 5,280 to convert from feet to miles. Remember, the amount that we had at feet was 32,616. That's how many feet we had. So we have to divide by 5,280 feet, and that gives us the miles. So the runway, the airport is about 6.2 miles away from the runway.